250cc practice sessions were a chance for the Italian-made Aprilias to put on a show in front of their home fans. Max Biaggi, the man who gave Aprilia the 250 world title last season, finally topped the practice leaderboard to grab pole position on the grid once again this season, but only after a real battle with Aprilia factory tester Marcelino Lucchi. Lucchi was fastest on Friday afternoon. Biaggi went faster early on Saturday, only for Lucchi to better that time soon after. Then, with just 4 minutes remaining in Saturday afternoon's final qualifying session, Biaggi fitted a new rear tyre of the same compound he would use in the race and stormed around the Mugello circuit, owned and used by the Ferrari factory as a test track for their Formula One cars, to go top again, but by just 0.06 of a second. Marcelino Lucchi certainly made a big impact on the meeting, even if Biaggi managed to get the better of him at the very last moment. Lucchi, the 38-year-old from Cesena, Italy, may have been the oldest rider in the 250 class, but he gave his younger rivals something to think about throughout the weekend. The Aprilia factory test rider, who knows the Mugello circuit well, made his superior circuit knowledge pay dividends right from the start. He was the fastest of all in Friday's second session and came close to topping the final leaderboard in the second qualifying session. Twice over the 2 days, he unofficially broke Biaggi's 1994 lap record. Tetsuya Harada was third fastest, but very much aware that his Yamaha was not as fast as the Aprilias. After disappointing results in last week's test sessions at Montmello, the new bikes weren't going to help matters either. Fourth, after the first qualifying session, but almost 1.2 seconds slower than pacemaker Lucchi, the Yamaha ace was at one stage out of the top 4 on Saturday before knuckling down to the job and going faster still. He finally finished third fastest and cut the gap between himself and Biaggi on pole to just 4/5 of a second. This was the crash that ruined Olivier Jacques' chances of a good qualifying performance. 19th fastest after Friday, he slipped back to start on the 6th row of the grid. Roberto Locatelli, another talented youngster in this year's 250 series, was still suffering from the effects of 2 broken collarbones this season. But he didn't stop him finishing 4th fastest and putting 3 Aprilias on the front row of the grid. Tadayuka Okada, boosted by his good result at Hockenheim, was 5th fastest, just 0.03 of a second slower than Locatelli. The factory HRC rider chopped more than a second off his Friday's time, but that wasn't good enough to put him on the front row of the grid. He was fastest of the Hondas, and the factory, though, are already looking for a new machine. Frenchman Jean-Michel Bayle was 6th fastest, but then ruined it with a crash involving Carlos Checa 10 minutes from the end of practice. Kenny Roberts Jr. was 7th fastest on the Marlboro Team Rainey Yamaha, with Ralph Waldman, like Okada, struggling on his HB Honda down in 7th place. Max Biaggi on the Chesterfield Aprilia, on the other hand, was on the crest of the wave at his home Grand Prix.
Today was a good day for me. I make nice setting of bike, suspension worked very well, and the engine performance was good. And end of the practice, I make pole position. I'm confident for tomorrow because the machine is okay, top speed, and engine is work very well. And I don't know, I would like to win in this track. It's home track, and many Italian people, Italian fans wait for my victory tomorrow. So I hope so to win tomorrow on Sunday.
An aerial view of the marvellous Mugello circuit near Florence, and with Cagiva back in the 500cc class once again, the big class once more buzzing with excitement. Mick Doohan still suffering from the effects of the injured finger on his left hand as practice got underway at Mugello. But the Australian, who wore a special protective shield on the finger, showed little signs of either discomfort or riding problems. Doohan topped all 4 practice and qualifying sessions between Friday morning and Saturday afternoon. He finished in pole position for the 6th time in succession, over 4/5 of a second faster than his closest rival. Not surprisingly, with his recent crashes still very much in mind, the team was searching for greater feel for the bike. But Doohan admitted he himself was no closer to finding an answer to the cause of those recent accidents. Shinichi Ito was 2nd fastest on another Repsol Honda, putting in a blistering lap in the closing stages to jump up the final practice leaderboard. Like teammate Doohan, Ito was still carrying a hand injury that affects his riding. The biggest sensation of practice, though, was Pier Francesco Chili on the factory Cagiva, who finished on the front row of the grid, 3rd fastest. Now a regular in the Superbike World Championship, Chili took full advantage of his wildcard outing to show that he has still got what it takes to ride a 500, despite a 4-year layoff. Other riders had been offered the ride, it was rumoured, but it's difficult to believe that anyone could have done any better than Frankie did. World Championship leader Daryl Beattie was 4th best on the Lucky Strike Suzuki. A long test session in Czechoslovakia had gone a long way towards solving the bike's persistent understeer problems. But at Mugello, Daryl was never really 100% comfortable with the bike. He was 2nd fastest to Doohan after Friday's qualifying session, but slipped back the following day. Beattie hoped that it would rain on race day, believing the Suzuki still needs more work to be at its very best in the dry. But now Suzuki have another card up their sleeve, the experience and knowledge of Kevin Schwantz. Alberto Puig was 5th quickest on the Fortuna Honda Pons machine, just a 1/5 of a second slower than Beattie after struggling to take very much of his best Friday lap. 3 days testing earlier in the week had improved the geometry of the Honda, but the Spaniard has still to extract its maximum potential. 6th fastest was Loris Capirossi, despite 2 nasty crashes, of which this was the first. It came on Saturday morning during the free practice session. With only a few laps under his belt, the young Italian was caught out by cold tyres and fell. He was lucky to escape with just an injured hand and no broken bones. Earlier, Capirossi had qualified 3rd fastest behind Doohan and Beattie in Friday's first time session on a track he knows and likes well. But he was confident he could go even quicker. But Capirossi, who was doubtful right up until the last minute that he'd be fit enough to go out in Saturday afternoon session, was unlucky enough to crash again. Once more, he escaped injury, but both his hands were left sore and swollen. Capirossi was determined to race, though, and insisted that come what may, he would not pull out and disappoint his fans and sponsors, even after a spill. The young Spaniard, Alex Crivilla, was 7th best, 0.05 of a second slower than Capirossi's Friday's qualifying time. Crivilla, on the 3rd of the Repsol Hondas, had been 6th best after the first session, but spent Saturday changing the geometry on the bike to make changes of direction easier. Loris Reggiani ended in 8th place on the final practice leaderboard after struggling in the first session. A mystery engine problem, either electrical or carburation, put him in 11th place after Friday, but that was fixed for Saturday, and Loris chopped 2 seconds off his best time to leap to the 2nd row of the grid. Luca Cadalora was struggling badly too and put it down to tyres, but the Italian, who celebrated his 31st birthday just before the race meeting, could only manage 8th best time. That time was set on Friday using Dunlop's front and rear. On Saturday, he reverted to all Michelins and other combinations, but he couldn't go any faster. But he surprisingly elected to race with an all-Michelin combination, while teammate Norik Abe, who was 11th best, chose Michelin front and Dunlop rear for the race. But once again, Doohan was in command.
You know, we did a lot of work with the bike, trying to make it easier for me to ride with my finger and changing directions. and it seems to have worked, paid off quite a bit. We've tried quite a few tyres. We did quite a lot of laps on them this morning, probably 2/3 of a race distance, and in one hit. So, you know, hopefully we can finish tomorrow, but basically the bike is feeling pretty good.
We've come here as a wild card. They asked me after the Superbike race at Donington, and I'm very happy to be here because I work well for this kind of team, Ducati, Cagiva. We came over here, we did a bit of testing. Palio asked me whether I was feeling comfortable with the bike and what I could do, which was only guarantee him that I would do my best. So if they also tried their best, I would probably make a good result.
Kazuta Sakata, the reigning world champion, topped the 125cc practice leaderboard on the Works Aprilia, despite cracked ribs and a broken bone in his left wrist. Haruchika Aoki, the man who leads the championship with 4 wins from 5 GPs, was second fastest after topping Friday's session, but unable to improve on that lap time. Spanish hero Emilio Altamora, fresh from his successes in the most recent Ducados races, took 4th place on the grid. But he too couldn't go any faster on the second day after hitting mechanical problems on the Scott Racing Honda. The Italian Stefano Perugini was 3rd quickest on the Team IPA Aprilia, but like Aoki and Altamora, he was unable to go any faster on Saturday than he'd done the previous day.
This here is broken and the hand is a little bit cracked. But my motivation is not so bad.
Opened the race programme with almost perfect weather conditions. It was fine and warm, with a bigcrowd at Mugello to watch the action. The atmosphere, as at all big races in Italy, electric. But let's take a look at the 5.2-kilometre Mugello circuit with the gears and the speeds on your screen. So that's how it looks to a rider. "21 laps ahead of the field, that's 110 kilometres, and there's Max Biaggi. A lot of pressure on him. needs to do well for himself and for the Aprilia factory. Biaggi in pole position, and next to him, Marcelino Lucchi, the Aprilia test rider, 38 years of age. Tetsuya Harada, third fastest in practice on the Yamaha. This is how they line up. Front row of the grid, Biaggi, Lucchi, Harada and Locatelli. Row 2, Okada, Bale, Roberts Jr. and Waldmann. So they're under starters' orders. The man with the red flag to the side of the track. The lights go red. You change to green. The charge is on to the first corner, and somebody caught out at the back. The bike not going at all. In fact, it's getting away now. But it's Biaggi scorching into the lead. A tremendous start from Biaggi. And Lucchi on the Aprilia up there. So too is Okada number 2. And Ralph Waldmann. Bit of bumping and boring there. One or two riders in trouble, but everybody stays on board. But it's Biaggi at the front of the pack as they climb up the hill. And the cheers of the patriotic Italian crowd reverberate around the hills of the Mugello circuit. Waldmann in 4th place there, those distinctive yellow leathers, and the Aprilia pair, Biaggi number 1, 34, Marcelino Lucchi out in front, and Lucchi takes a look over his shoulder and to see where the opposition is, and this is Jean-Michel Bale. Well, a problem for him right at the start, and he pulls off the track. Remember, he crashed at the end of practice. Now, at the front, it's still Biaggi and Lucchi, but they have been caught. The Aprilias have been reeled in by the chasing pack in the form of Tetsuya Harada, the 1993 world champion on the Marlboro team, Rainy Yamaha, is not only up to 3rd place, he's closing quickly on the leading Aprilias. This is the rear-facing camera on Biaggi's Chesterfield Aprilia. Behind him, number 34, Lucchi. Then it's number 7, Harada. And Biaggi setting a scorching pace. But Harada's tucked in with the 2 Aprilias. Over the line they go. Another lap in the book. Biaggi leads. Then it's Lucchi behind him. Then it's Harada. And a glimpse of Ralph Waldmann in 4th place. And he's under pressure from Okada, the Japanese rider. Now Biaggi out in front. Oh, and a bit of grass tracking there. And that's going to be a problem for the Spaniard Castilla. Oh, Harada dives through on the inside. A beautiful overtaking manoeuvre from Tetsuya Harada. And just when it looked as though Lucchi was going to hold off the Japanese rider, Harada just dived through clean as a whistle and slotted himself into 2nd place. But it's Aprilia's 1st and 3rd. And Biaggi has got the bit between his teeth, flowing style as Biaggi then. The antenna of the on-bike cameras sticking out of the back seat there. Biaggi looking smooth and comfortable, but he's trailing in the championship. Harada, the championship leader. But this will give Biaggi a chance to pull back that deficit. And what it looks in the HB Honda pit as Waldmann struggles to join the leading group. And will Harada pull out of the slipstream again this time? No. Settles for 2nd place. Both men tucked in behind the bubble of the fairing, and Lucchi being dropped off a little bit, and a long way further back is Waldmann. There he is, 28, and behind him, number 2, Okada. And the 2 Hondas, the best of the Hondas, well, they are not on the pace here. Whether it's down on power or lack of handling, we don't really know. Biaggi, though, under pressure once more from Tetsuya Harada. Oh, and a big moment there from Harada. Harada kicked out of the seat and very, very close indeed to coming off. Well, a big scare for Tetsuya Harada. The tyres let go, and he needed absolutely lightning reactions and reflexes to get that Yamaha under control. And Biaggi all the time not letting up on the pace. The Aprilia snaking. Harada in pursuit. Quite a gap now. And this is the moment that Adi Stadler gracefully slid out of the Italian Grand Prix. Well, spectacular, but he's unhurt. Back with the race leader. Biaggi on the Aprilia, and a big wheelie is starting to celebrate, and the crowd rise to the occasion. They're lapping this up. Biaggi enjoying himself. And there's Wayne Rainey, team manager of Harada, in second place. And everywhere he can put that front wheel in the air, Max Biaggi is doing just that. Harada out of contention now. He's plugging away, waiting, hoping for a mistake, a mechanical problem for Biaggi. But it's not happening, and Biaggi again just doesn't want to be caught out in the closing stages of this race. And will it be a celebration wheelie? Yes, it is, of the highest magnitude, a king-size wheelie over the line. Max Biaggi has done it. Victory, and Harada still trying hard to make up ground. Maybe he didn't even see the checkered flag. But Harada second, and it was Waldmann by a whisker from Okada. But Biaggi's done it. First victory for him, first victory for Aprilia in the Italian Grand Prix. Confirmation of the results. Biaggi by 1.07 seconds. Lucky in third place, then Waldmann and Okada fifth home. Sixth place went to Kenny Roberts Jr. at the head of a four-rider pack with Aoki, Patrick van der Gorberg and Ruggia. So, on the podium, the trophies and the kisses for Max Biaggi. Always an eye for a pretty girl. And now the celebrations.
Today was very hard race for me. I won in the front of my public in Italia Grand Prix home track, and I'm really, really happy. I want to say thank you to my mechanics because the bike worked very well. Just the front suspension, but that's normal because the weather conditions change a lot and nothing. I'm very, very, how do you say it? Commosso, how do you say? Moved, okay. And now I'm very close to Harada, and the championship for sure it's a story for me and for Harada, the two more strong riders in the World Championship.
Yes, when I pushed to try and pass Max, my knee hit the track and I had to hold the bike up. The Aprilia was fast today. I tried my best, but the front end would not stick. You all know I'm 38 years old, so I'm the oldest rider of the Grand Prix. This is my home track, the one I feel for, so this is a real victory. A week ago I dreamt I would come third, so I felt very calm and relaxed, because it never happens to me. And when I have this kind of dream, it happens in true life. So after so many years, the dream I've had since I was a kid has now finally come true.
So, let's have a look at the championship table. With his third win of the year, Max Biaggi goes level with Harada at the top of the championship. 118 each, 31 ahead of Waldmann. Then comes Aoki and Okada. Here at Mugello, and there he is, Michael Doohan, in pole position once again for the sixth time in a row, but nursing an injured finger. Shinichi Ito, second fastest, with a sudden spurt at the end of the final qualifying session. Then Pier Francesco Chili bringing the Cagiva back, and to the delight of the Italian crowd on the front row of the grid, third fastest in training. And this is how they will line up: Doohan, Ito, Chili, and championship leader Beatty, then Alberto Puig, Caparossi, Crevia, and Reggiani. Then Cadalora, Barros, Abe, and Neil Hodgson on the third row of the grid. So 23 laps ahead of the pack, 120 kilometres. And oh, Kelly has made a big mistake. Look at that, you can see the marks where he went right into the gravel trap. Well, he stayed on board, but he's lost an awful lot of ground. Well, what a shame. And the leaders still slog it out at the front, and Doohan edging away slightly, but not by a lot. Third is Alberto Puig now. Ito back to fourth. Then it's Crevia. Then number 9, Barros. 17, Abe. Well, at many Grand Prix, those young men have diced it out. Literally clashing fairings along the way. And they're doing it one more time here at Mugello. And Alberto Puig, who's got better and better as this season has gone on. Tito Pons, his team manager, well pleased with him, I'm sure. Doohan out in front, looking for a victory. Behind him, Daryl Beattie. Then third, it's number 5, Alberto Puig. Fourth is Ito, number 7. Then it's 6, Alex Crivilla. 9, Alex Barros. 17, Norik Abe. Well, Abe apparently having no problems with tyres. He may well have had a different combination to his teammate Luca Cadalora, who is struggling a long way back in the field at the moment. And a long way to Scott Russell, making his 500cc Grand Prix racing debut. And some good scraps going on. This battle between Puig and Ito for 3rd and 4th. A good scrap. Then this 3-way battle, Crivilla, Barros and Abe. And Alberto Puig, who spent a lot of time testing last week, trying to get the Fortuna Honda Pons machine going well. And he's apparently succeeded in doing that. And further back, in 10th, 11th and 12th places, number 2, Cadalora, 71, Killy, and 45, Scott Russell, the 1993 Superbike World Champion, making his Grand Prix debut for Lucky Strike Suzuki. And Killy again getting Cagiva out of shape as he looks to get back onto the top 10. Cadalora not in his accustomed place at the front of the field, and Kenny Roberts, I'm sure, won't be too pleased about that. Cadalora, number 2 on the Marlboro Team Roberts machine. Then Killy and Cadalora trying hard off the track and almost on the grass. And under pressure from both Killy and Scott Russell. Well, not a bad debut for Scott Russell. He's in good company at the moment. And a little bit further back, I think we saw a glimpse of Bernard Garcia on the Rock Yamaha. And here comes Russell winding up the Lucky Strike Suzuki. Can he get past them both? Well, Killy, no, pulls out of the slipstream. He's on the inside. Has he got the better line? He has. And Pier Francesco Killy on the Cagiva goes ahead of an out-of-form Luca Cadalora. Cadalora drops to 11th. And the slower men very gentlemanly move over and wave on the quick man as Alberto Puig hangs on to 3rd place, holding off Shinichi Ito. Ito 2nd fastest in practice, and Alberto Puig 5th quickest. But a different story in the race. Puig bobs up out of the fairing, the knee goes out as he changes down the gearbox. And Puig holding off a very determined and getting back to form Shinichi Ito. This is a good scrap for 3rd place, and Puig appears to have the advantage at the moment, back with the race leader. And Doohan has stretched an advantage. Beattie wisely deciding that finishing a certain and sure 2nd is the plan. And here's this battle still raging further back. 6 Crivilla, 17 Abe, then number 9 Alex Barros. And Loris Reggiani on the Aprilia still going strong. And Loris, of course, the darling of the Italian crowd. They love him and they love Aprilias. Doohan then pulling further away from Beattie, and Beattie being caught now, perhaps in the closing stages, by Alberto Puig. And I'm sure Alberto Puig can now see the Lucky Strike man ahead of him, and he'll be trying to rein him in. There's the leader. There's the 2nd place man. And not that much further back is Alberto Puig, who has got the measure of Shinichi Ito. Doohan. There is Beattie, and there is Alberto Puig, as you can see the lead coming down a bit. Then a glimpse of Shinichi Ito in 4th position. And Doohan's lead about 3 seconds, maybe 4 or 5 seconds the gap back to Alberto Puig. The same or maybe a little bit more to Ito. And here they come, the trio. The boys at play. It's Alex Crivilla, number 6, 17 Abe, but Barros hits the front, or tries to. He's on the inside, that's the best line. But Crivilla, very wide, very deep, cuts inside and holds the line against Alex Barros. Well, these men battling out on the racetrack for 5th, 6th and 7th places. Crivilla is 5th in the World Championship at the moment. Barros is 6th and Abe in 8th place. So close together out on the racetrack and close together in the points battle for the 500cc World Championship. Crivilla from Barros and Abe bringing up the rear of this battling trio. It's Spain from Brazil and Japan. Crevia, part of the Repsol Honda team, of course, with Michael Doohan and Tsuneti Ito. Back with his teammate Doohan out at the front of the pack, and Doohan heading for a victory. And this will be his third win of the year, if he can make it through to the checkered flag. Chin on the tank, past the pits one more time. And Doohan has opened up quite a comfortable advantage now over Daryl Beattie. But we've seen all too well that disaster can strike at the least likely moment. And Doohan will be conscious of that fact. But not easing the pace at all, still hurrying on, charging towards victory and the checkered flag, trying to cut back the 29 points between himself and championship leader Daryl Beattie. Doohan then showing no signs of problems with the injured finger, climbing all over the bike, riding very hard indeed. He was the quickest man easily in practice, and now he's the quickest man out on the racetrack, having escaped the disaster on the 6th lap. So Doohan heading for 25 points, but Beattie is tucked in there behind. He won't worry too much about that. And the checkered flag is ready for Michael Doohan. Another victory, the third win. There's Beattie, not that far behind. And who is it going to be in third place? It's going to be Alberto Puig. Well, that was a good result. And here comes Ito, but who's it going to be? They're bobbing and weaving all over the track. The sprint for the line. Well, that was close. And we'll have to wait for the official results to see how that ended up. That little three-way battle. And Doohan the winner, Beattie second, Alberto Puig third, then Ito. Crevia gets the verdict in 5th position. And they were catching Ito. 6th goes to Abe. Barras has to settle for 7th, then Reggiani, Caparossi, and Killy takes 10th place. And Michael Doohan gets the trophy from a man called Kevin Schwantz, who's received a few of those in his time. Now, who are they going to go for with the champagne?
Seems like it's just normal, running off the track or crashing lately seems to be part of the script, but definitely wasn't in the plan to do that there today. I've been around here plenty of times in practice, near run a race distance in practice, and I got into that turn. That was one of the easiest turns to get into, and you know, it had spun up quite a few times getting in there before, but it spun and then it gripped, and when it gripped, the front wheel come off the ground, and before I could grab the brakes, I obviously got to put the front wheel back on the ground, and it just ran me wide that bit, and obviously off onto the dirt, and I was lucky to regain and catch Daryl.
Pretty much just everywhere. He was riding really well. And I've got no excuses. Mick just outrode us today, and for a while there during the race, I felt that I could maybe hang in there, but 8 laps to go, he started gradually just picking that pace a little bit more, and I just couldn't quite hang on. And for us, I'm pretty excited. We Lucky Strike Suzuki and myself really didn't expect I didn't expect such a good result today, so I'm walking away really happy and looking forward to Assen.
It's okay, I'm happy because I'm in the podium, but it's not the same to be third or to be first, no? But anyway, I'm happy because I think I did a good race, and I make some gap between me and the guys that were coming behind me in the championship. I think the mechanics did a good job this weekend, and I think that this podium is for them.
So, what has that done to the championship battle? Well, Beattie is still on top with 119. Doohan's cut the lead to 24. Alberto Puig third. Crevia fourth now. Cadalora drops to 5th place. last, but by no means least, the 125cc race, which promises to be, once again, an absolute cracker. This is how they're going to line up. Reigning champion Sakata, then Aoki, Perugini and Altamora, Oetel, Ueda, Tokudome and Sato on row 2. This is going to be a 20-lap race, and away they go. The little engines strive to carry the rider towards the first corner. Number 7, Stefano Perugini, to the delight of the Italians at the front, but a good start too from Altamora. Number 26, Peter Oetel, despite a wrist he broke only 2 weeks ago, is up there. Altamora dives through on the inside to go into second place. Well, make that the lead. Altamora leads, but Perugini comes back underneath him. No, he doesn't. Altamora has the advantage. Perugini in second place. And down goes Lopez, the Italian. He's okay, he's on his feet, but an early crasher in this race. But look at this out in front. Number 5, Peter Oetel. 26, Altamora. 7, Perugini. They were all over the track, wanting to go up the hill first, but it's the Spaniard, Altamora, who does it. Perugini in second spot. Peter Oetel is there. Then behind them, dangerously, ominously, number 12, Harichike Aoki, and out of the race, Dirk Rowdies. Well, what a year it's been for him. So, Altamora leads. 7, Perugini in second place. Number 5, Peter Oetel. Oh, and Altamora's down. The back end kicked out, and he just couldn't avoid going down. Whoa, what a disaster for the Spaniard, and they can't believe it in the pits. Well, the man on form leading the race, and down he goes. And here comes Nobuo Ueda, number 2. He's won here before, and he's mixing it out of the front. Sakata's there as well, and he's a brave man. He's got 2 cracked ribs and a broken bone in his wrist, and he's still mixing it, looking for points. And that's the pit crew of number 12, Aoki. There he is in 4th place. He's won 4 of the 5 Grand Prix so far. Can Aoki make another one? Perugini on the Aprilia hits the front. Peter Oetel, and down goes Heri Torantegui. Torantegui, he was up into 3rd place. He rocketed through the field to go 3rd, and Torantegui goes out. Perugini, oh, and he's trying to get back in the race, but that bike looked too battered for him to continue. And here comes Aoki. Aoki timing his run to perfection. 5 riders then left in this race. One of these surely must win this 125cc race. Perugini's in front. Peter Oetel looks to the inside, cannot get back. But there's other men up there as well. Sakata and Tokudome and Perugini. And on the inside, oh, superb riding from Aoki. Just a teenager, the youngest boy in the race, but he rides so well. And here comes Oetel out of the slipstream, and Aoki will not give way. Perugini almost leaning on him. Peter Oetel runs wide. He's made a big mistake, and that will allow Tokudome to come back underneath him. And Peter Oetel's up there as well. Eddie Aoki, who leads the sprint to the line, but here comes Perugini, and it's going to be close, very, very close. Over the line they go, and both men think they've won. Aoki delighted, but Perugini thinks he's done it. Now, let's see. It's Aoki by, look at that margin, 4,000th of a second. Tokudome 3rd, Oetel 4th, and Sakata 5th. Then Manako, Sato, Kato, Miyazaki, and behind Miyazaki, Tex Geisler. Well, Aoki's done it. 5 wins out of 6. And once again, Perugini robbed on the line by the Japanese star.
Perugini's bike was faster than mine this time, so to be on the rostrum, I had to pass the guys in front of me as soon as I could. It's already mid-season, and I'm in a very good position talking about points, so I'll do my best to be the world champion. I hope I win soon, because I was a bit fed up of Aoki always winning, and I also wanted to win. Today, for 4,000ths of a second, next time it will be 2,000ths. I hope Aprilia works better next time.
When past the control line at 3rd place, God, I did it. Very happy. Like this, yes.
So let's take a look at the championship positions. Aoki now 52 points clear of Perugini.